Hello and welcome to Watching Wyrd Realities, Inc. My name is Finley Jones, and tonight I'm here with my partner in crime, Jaime Hernandez. And we have gathered an awesome group of writers to discuss Zach Snyder's film, Army of Thieves. But before we get into that, I want to briefly introduce you to our panel of experts. I should say Thieves, since Stephen is the one that said that earlier. Let's see. We've got Bethany Stutsman. Hagart, is that how you say your last name?
Yeah, I blame my ex-husband for that one. It's hard to say.
Okay, let's play with Stutsman then. Okay, so Bethany is the author of the Highway of Dead series. She lives in Arizona with her cats Indy and Sherlock. She lives for Halloween, loves watching scary movies, and drinks a lot of coffee. She says that her passion for spooky tales started at a young age when her brothers would tell her ghost stories while they traveled across the country in the family RV, which is amazing. Mike Evans is the author of the Orphans series, Zombies on the Block series, and about 40 more books. He's a writer who's not afraid of different genres. He lives in Iowa with his wife, 2 kids, and his adopted dogs, Harley Quinn and Maggie. Love Harley Quinn. He seems to be the happiest and most comfortable writing horror, either apocalyptic zombie books or serial killer fiction. Shawn is the author of the Surviving the Zombie Apocalypse series and the Rikers Apocalypse series. He resides in the Pacific Northwest with his wife and 2 kids. Shawn is a big fan of the apocalyptic horror genre. His strong influences are Stephen King, Cormac McCarthy, and George Romero. Stephen Landry, as I was stalking pages to get information, my favorite was spinning chaos into art and writing, mostly chaos. That is Stephen's words. Yes. So Stephen lives in Nashville with his fiance, 2 rescue dogs, and a cat. He likes character-driven science fiction and lit RPG. He also does graphic design and for authors, publishing companies, independent film studios, and some video game companies. Sylvester Barazey is the author of the Planet Dead series, Stitches, and more. He grew up in Bronx, New York, and then made his way to Lawrence, Georgia. Welcome to all of you. I'm sure I left some really important stuff out, so we're going to have to catch up on all that after we talk about Army of Thieves. Jaime, tell everybody about yourself before we start.
I am the author of the Chronicles of the Undead series. I have 2 books out so far, and I'm working on the 3rd book now. I'm married. I have 2 amazing daughters. We have 4 crazy dogs, and I live in Texas. I love zombies. I love the genre. It's almost the only thing I read. And I'm big on tattoos, animals, the beach, going to the zoo. You know, that sounds like a dating profile now, but just, just a little bit more about me. But Shawn Chester's books were actually one of the first zombie series that I ever read. So thank you, Mr. Chester. You've been a big inspiration to me.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, so let's jump into it. I love Sebastian, aka Dieter. So tell me what you thought about it. Talk to me.
I think Dieter was like the star of Army of the Dead. So for them to make a movie, a prequel with him in it, that was perfect.
Yeah, they definitely the way they expanded on his character was just amazing. Like from the way that the opening scenes to getting him to the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. I like the YouTube little part where he's kind of geeky and unsure of himself, but then he really blossoms throughout the movie. He becomes kind of an action star, in my opinion.
Yeah, I liked his energy when he's.
I found that really relatable too.
Yeah,
Yeah, his one view. Like
Dude,
we've all been there. We're like,
Oh,
we got one
That
review.
first view.
It shattered his life of routine, though. He had
Exactly.
that structure all throughout, and then all of a sudden, now he's drawn into this caper. That was pretty cool.
But I think it's neat that they took a zombie film, all right, with Army of the Dead, and then they did a prequel with just like a hint of zombie, but like it could be its own standalone movie. And you don't see that a lot, and they did so well with that. I think they did a really good job with that.
I agree. And I started watching it and I think maybe I dozed off and woke up and the zombies were attacking him and it scared the crap out. I said, wait a minute, this is not how this started. And I love the zombie genre, so I love all of that stuff, but I had to go back and watch all of it so I wouldn't be scared again.
I definitely liked when people referenced the zombies, like when it was like the police and they were like, don't we have something like bigger to worry about with the zombie apocalypse going on? And I was just like, yeah.
That scene where he was working at the bank and the older lady and then the TV going at the same time.
Yeah.
I thought that was flawless.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed that concept that the zombie apocalypse was so isolated that the rest of the world could just kind of watch it and be like, I wonder what's going to happen over here.
You can tell they definitely paralleled it with what happened last year with stuff where the rest of the world's like, meh, I got stuff to do, but you know.
Yeah, still gotta go to work. The world's ending over there, but I still gotta go to work. So.
Yep.
I saw they're already working on Planet of the Dead, the third installment, which is
I'm contacting my lawyers, so I'm ready for that. But I can't wait to see the third one. I just love the universe that they're building. So
are they making a third one?
Yeah,
I think they are.
They said it's going to be Planet of the Dead.
Does it come after or before he does Rebel Moon?
I don't know. Is that the animated one?
No, Zach Snyder is also working on a sci-fi movie called Rebel Moon, and I can't remember if he's planning Planet of the Dead before or after it.
So is he going to be involved in Planet of the Dead? Because he was just a producer on this one.
He was cinematographer too, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my understanding is he's going to be completely involved directing again.
Nice. His films all have a certain just like pow on it. Yeah. Like it reminds me of the old Batman comics where it's all pow, bam. Like that's
he hooks you with the music for the trailer. I mean, the man comes around with the 2004 remake of Dawn of the Dead. And in this one, when I saw Army of the Dead, the trailer, I was drawn in by just Kenny Rogers, the gambler. It just he has a knack for pairing the music to the lots of like CCR and stuff like that too. And Army of the Dead, it was pretty neat. I liked it.
Yeah, it was great, and I like how in Army of Thieves, most of the music was like the opera background because of Sebastian / Dieter. Because of him telling the stories of the safes. Obviously, he's using it for that, but it seemed like most of the movie had kind of like that same type of music, which was a big departure from Army of the Dead.
One of the really cool things I found too was that this movie was actually directed by the same actor that played Dieter.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Really?
Very cool.
And like
he's like 30 years old. I think 29 or 30.
That's a lot. Like he's I can't remember exactly what country he's from, but he's done like smaller films before. And that's actually how this got made. Is Zach Snyder saw some of his older work and loved it.
That's awesome.
He's from Germany.
Him and his family are very known and successful where they're from. But I know when Army of Thieves dropped, he was on Twitter and he was like, "Thank you, everyone, for changing my life and stuff." And I was like, "That's pretty cool."
Yeah,
that's very cool.
So, what did you think about Brad Cage?
I like how they introduced him. They're like, it's Brad. Like it's such a like Chad.
My first thought was Mortal Kombat. Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact that he was a rich boy turned like wannabe bad boy and stuff, like he played that role very well.
Yeah, and I love all the Nick Cage references. You know, where that little clip where when he's a kid, he's watching him in Con Air working out, and
Oh yeah.
I mean, if there ever is a Nick Cage movie to kind of model yourself after, I think Con Air is a good one.
When he released Dieter's hand, I wanted to murder him. From the back of the van or the truck or whatever it is.
I did
but like you definitely saw it coming, especially when Dieter was telling the story of the safe, and then he's just like, it's love and betrayal, and I was like, oh, so it's about to go down now. So
and what about Karina?
Oh, I thought she was a great character. She was just so much fun. And did you know that her and Dieter are together in real life?
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Yeah, they're a couple.
Wow.
Okay. Well, that makes me happy.
But yeah,
did you say go Dieter?
I liked her up until the time it was revealed that she had an interest in Cage. That's when I kind of soured on her.
That's
like,
where you're just like, oh, she got bad taste.
I think that was more like a fascination working in such close proximity kind of thing.
I like her work because she was in was it Game of Thrones, and then she was in Fast and the Furious franchise. So I liked how she went from this character that just kind of stood around with the queen, then she was this hacker, and then she was kicking ass in this. So I really like that. I like the progression of stuff she's been doing. So if we're talking about
feel like they cut
terrible with actor names. So.
Like they must have cut some. I felt like they cut some of her story out of the movie. Because like they mentioned that she had like was it a little brother?
Yes.
And like when she got captured, and I don't remember that her brother being mentioned in any other part.
Her brother was mentioned at the beginning. Yeah, we're talking about Karina. She was the hacker, and Karina's the one that hacked and released Pirates of the Caribbean to her little brother when he was young. And that is where the reference to the little brother came from.
So she's dating Dieter?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I got mixed up.
I got the names mixed up.
All right. Gwendolyn is
I loved
the one that was in Game of Thrones and the Fast and Furious. I had to think
forget
about
everything
that for a minute.
No, I was just going to say that I thought we were talking about two different people.
I thought Dieter and Gwendolyn were together.
No.
Still
I love
Dieter.
Karina's introduction to him when she explains about the movie, and she's just like, nerd,
Yeah.
Nerd introduction to nerd. That was funny.
Also relatable.
I like that she just goes with the flow. Like she knows all these people have backstories, all these people have histories. There's all this stuff going on, and she's like, you know what? I'm just gonna be a DJ with my music and chill and have fun. Like she's the epitome of just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Or like when she asked Dieter if he wants to make out, like okay, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we've all been there, right?
Then she kills him and crushes his dreams.
What was your favorite scene in the movie?
I don't know if it was my favorite scene, but I really liked it after the first bank when he was like holding the money and he just screams. He's so damn excited. Like he's the only one that's excited that they've just taken all that money, and just his excitement is like puts it over the top how good it is.
Yeah, it was like palpable. He was I did it.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
I liked his amazement when he was dropped into the safe cracking, the first arena, where he was just like, "Excuse me, sir, what are we doing here?" He's like, and they're ignoring him, and they're cracking their safes.
This guy talking shit by the third one, like just waiting.
Yeah, he waited to the last 20 seconds to do it.
Yeah.
And you knew that he was going to do it.
Yeah.
You knew he was because of that opening scene after his YouTube drop when he timed himself on the lock. You knew he was going to do it.
That was also probably my favorite scene, that whole battle royale between the safe breakers.
My scene I liked him in was so subtle. It was when he was sitting by himself just eating a sandwich and he was outside and all the rain was falling around him and he just does that sigh. Like we've all done that sigh where like we got to go back to work, we got life, and I'm just eating my ham sandwich over here.
Right.
Like that was so relatable to me that's when I kind of connected with the character.
Yeah, you're right, because it's such excitement. It's built up. Everything is great, and then all of a sudden, life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it happens. Yeah,
because we all fantasize about that. We all fantasize about something else. I mean, that's why half of us are writers. But then to just realize that no, you got to go back to work. You're like,
yeah.
I like the bike scene too, where he's racing away from all the cops.
From the cops.
That was so crazy.
And he says, I actually did that.
Yeah.
I just did that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely just feel like they picked the best character to give a solo movie to and to give all this background information to. And I was very, I don't know, I guess I was surprised how they made safe cracking so intense or so just like
it's safe cracking really, really cool.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, and like my son was sitting there watching it. I was like, are you gonna be a safe cracker? My wife was like, why would he want to be that? I was like,
how many of us
can make millions and millions of dollars?
One thing I questioned about that was how did he have some kind of supernatural hearing or something? Because he was able to, like in a moving van, to hear the tumblers. And everything. That one thing right there kind of was kind of weird to me, but maybe he's.
I have a theory that Dieter's an alien. That's my theory.
There you go.
Yeah, I believe that he was an alien, and then my theory was kind of shot to death when I saw a baby picture or a picture with him and his family, and he was young. But I was like, maybe they came here, and because for me, like
Superman,
the thing about aliens is like when they're trying to assimilate into the world, is like they're human, but something's just a little off, and that's what it is with Dieter. He's trying to be like the perfect human being, but something's just a little off, and it's just like him making his sandwiches, his YouTube videos, just cracking safes. I just feel like that's something that Alien would do, and because the process of cracking safes or just building safes is just so formulaic, it's something that they would appreciate because it's just something they could understand within society. So I just think he's an alien.
Interesting.
I think I read something somewhere that there was going to be a time loop scenario involved in the third installment somehow.
The first one plays on that.
Yeah, Twitter is messing my head up with all the theories that's going on, and then I'm sitting there watching Army of Thieves, and I was just like, "There's no time loop. What happened?" So,
well, it's on Movie Web.
Yeah,
that he teases other realms, time loops, and portals in the Planet of the Dead. Talking about Zach Snyder.
Okay, well, he better, because I'm waiting for this all to connect. Because I really love Army of Thieves. I loved it. It was a great heist movie and everything. But at the end of it, I was just kind of like, I had so many questions from Army of the Dead that weren't answered here. So I was waiting for something to be answered, and I didn't get any, except for the fact that there were 3 other safes that were like the one correct. Like, I know why he was on the team now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, in Army of the Dead. Oh, I'm sorry. They when they're down in the vault and they see the dead bodies, like they actually visit that where they talk about like this is us in past lives, and they flash from the bodies and then who they represent, the other teams and stuff that were down there. So like you could tell they were starting to kind of build that in the first movie.
Well, when Karina, when they're in the van, he wakes up from that zombie dream, and she says, maybe they're prophecies, not dreams. Maybe you saw your own death.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yes, that was so awesome. And then I loved at the end of her like serious thing that she goes, prophecies, zombies.
I know. There were so many humorous moments in it, but that was one of my favorites, was the prophecies.
Yeah. I do like how just the aspect of how they all got caught and that they're in prison and no one died. I felt like was a good way to bring them all back later on if we wanted to. And I would love to see them take on zombies.
My hope is that Planet of the Dead actually ties the prequel and Army of the Dead together by bringing back these characters.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
So Mona is asking, which should you watch first on that series? So would you recommend that she watch Army of Thieves first or Army of the Dead first?
I recommend them in order.
Yeah.
Watch them in order.
In order, so Army of the Dead and then Army of Thieves.
I would say the other way around, actually.
Or other way around.
I think I would watch Army of Thieves first, and then you'd have, I guess, a different appreciation for Dieter and what he does in Army of the Dead.
So
like the only drawback is that the safe in Army of the Dead isn't quite as cool as the saves in Army of Thieves.
I noticed that it was plain.
I noticed that too.
Is that the safe name? The Gutter Dameron?
I don't know if anybody
something like that.
I don't remember them all.
You didn't pay attention to what that safe looked like in Army of the Dead. So this time around, I watched Army of the Dead after Army of Thieves, and I was expecting this ornate, elaborate safe, and I'm like, oh wow,
Well, what was interesting in Army of the Dead? There's two different designs for the safe. Like the locks are in different places.
Oh.
One in the flashback, or not the flashback, where he's explaining the plan versus
when
the actual plan happening.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Like I thought that was opposite though. I would prefer. Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought that was an interesting detail that kind of goes to the whole time loop theory.
Yeah.
I would actually prefer Army of the Dead first, kind of the order that it came out in.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, just because it got me to love that character so much that it made me so interested in Army of the Thieves. Because if Army of the Thieves just kind of came out, I would have been like, well, it's a background movie.
Oh, yeah.
But because I'm so invested in him, I'm like, what happened? Like, and I wanted to see how they're going to throw the zombies in there. I was like, how? Because they haven't exploded yet. So I was like, how are they going to work this? Like, what's happening? So for me, it was the opposite. But
yeah. I was the same way, just thinking if you fall in love with that guy, you'll be a little disappointed with how little screen time he gets in the Army of Dead.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
The whole sequence where they're defeating what do they say, non-lethal countermeasures before they get to the safe, that was great. Getting the zombies to go walk forward, like it's not the meat, it's the heat.
Yep. Yeah. The second he was like, hold on, I'll be right back. You're like, yes. Like we all knew.
I do just love the whole 4 safe things and just seeing that he had this mission and that it came to pass in Army of the Dead. Just like, for me, I felt like although the money was a nice payoff, it was definitely the fact that he got to accomplish this is why he even took the job. So
for Army of the Dead, I don't think he cared at all about the money. It
was definitely just being able to finally finish the set. So I like that.
It gives a lot of meaning to his line in Army of the Dead, where he's like, do you think I can crack it? I don't know. He's like, but am I your best shot? Yes.
Yeah.
And like now when you watch Army of Thieves, you're like, yeah.
Yes. When you see that scene again, you're just like, yes.
Yeah.
He is your only shot.
Yeah. Exactly.
Did you guys notice that the locksmith place in Army of the Dead that he worked at was called was named after the girl Gwendoline?
Yes.
Oh,
I thought that was really cool.
Gwendolyn's Lock and Safe or
That's
something
awesome.
like that.
I didn't even realize that it was his place now. See, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I liked that he came into his own, but I also liked that he was still just kind of, happy-go-lucky despite everything. And I was listening to something else. Somebody was talking about how Army of Thieves leads into Army of the Dead, and how in that scene in Army of the Dead when the zombies get him, it's reflective of Gwendolyn letting him go free even though they capture her, and he pushes the guy into the safe. You know which part I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And saves his life. He did that because Gwendolyn did it for him.
Someone
and
saved him.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of neat. I had not thought about it that way, but
that's really cool. I
but
like
if
that
we
connection.
bring in the alien theory,
Oh gosh.
there you go.
since we didn't see him die,
Yeah,
we
we
probably closed the safe and was
Exactly.
just like, stop. And they,
we assumed he died, but he may not have.
yeah.
Well, there have to be like bomb shelters in casinos, right?
I mean, true.
But
Yeah, there. I guess. I
at
don't know.
the
I've
same
never,
time, though,
I've never
we
been
can't.
back there. I've never won enough for someone to bring me to the back of the casinos.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to go to that.
You wouldn't be here if you did, bro.
That's true. We wouldn't be having this conversation.
Nope.
I'd be counting my money like Scrooge McDuck and swimming.
Was there anything that you hated about it? I know, Shawn, you said that you were kind of turned off by the whole oh my gosh, it just escaped my brain.
There weren't very many likable characters. I mean,
Yes.
because Dieter was the only one that had a real vision and what he wanted to do. He had a quest. The other ones were just like, let's get the money. You know, it was kind of, I don't know. I just didn't really dig them that much. I didn't hate them, but they just really didn't grow them onto me that much.
I felt like
Everybody was
Gwendolyn
kinda-
wanted the same thing.
Everybody was kind of paper thin to me.
Shallow,
I felt like it
very
was kind of like a parody of a heist movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I don't know. I mean, that didn't bother me as much as the fact that I didn't get any answers. Like, I felt like I didn't get any answers. I was sitting there waiting, and that kind of bothered me.
And Dieter even pointed out, he says, so we all have our specialties or our skill sets, and we're going to go. And he's like, exactly.
Yeah. So it felt, I don't know, like, because when I was sitting there and I felt like that it was a parody of a heist movie, that made me think, I was like, was Army of the Dead supposed to be a parody of a zombie movie? And then I was like, I felt offended. I was like, should I have been offended? I don't know. But the only thing I didn't like about it was that I didn't get any of the answers that I felt like I should have gotten. And I guess that's more based on my assumptions than it was about the movie. So
See, I just think that opens the door for a lot more to come.
yeah,
I think they're
think
saving
so.
a lot of the answers for the anime series or animated series that they have coming, since that's going to be a prequel too.
yeah, that's supposed to explain every character and whatnot. So
Yeah,
that
That'd
should
be
fun.
interesting.
One thing I found a little confusing is that the time difference between the two movies is 6 years. So
6 years?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's 6 years. So
was it 6
I'm like,
years
okay.
or 4?
It was 6.
yeah, it was
Wow.
6 years. That confuses me a little bit because even if the zombie apocalypse had started off, small in Vegas and they're trying to get it under control, how is it that 6 years later, they still have the zombies that obviously haven't spread further than Vegas, but they're still there.
Mm.
It
Well,
just seems
that
a little strange to me that over that long period of time, they didn't get rid of them. They didn't try to.
I think they just kind of ignored the problem
Yeah.
once the city was walled off.
I
Yeah.
feel like it was kind of you
And
could
then
tell
it
they had
became
like a
a
political
big
power with
political-
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I felt like there were people that were like, you can't bomb the zombies. And then there were like, I don't know. But
Well, they mentioned the president saying, he was making good on his campaign promise to, nuke the zombies. So yeah, obviously you guys are right. There was that political part,
yeah.
which would help explain why it would take so long. But 6 years just still seemed like such a long time.
I definitely feel like, especially after we saw stuff with the pandemic and stuff, I definitely think it would take a while for America to decide to nuke Las Vegas. I think it would go through a few terms before it becomes the final bomb. So
Well, especially since they had the like humanitarian camps out there too.
Yeah.
You know, people trying to help and do stuff, and then
the people, they don't know if they're infected or not. They have them locked up too. So I guess it just all comes down to if everybody was okay with pulling the trigger. So I guess it probably took a while.
Yeah.
But
they also had to wait for all the insurance companies to pay out.
I feel like people should have asked a few more questions, because I'm like, 6 years is a long time for you to believe these zombies didn't climb a Connex. Like, so like I felt like people should have asked some questions like, why are they just sitting there? Like,
well,
why weren't there any drones going in seeing what the hell's going on?
Go ahead.
They kind of created their whole world in there, and they were fine in there. That's kind of how I saw it. Because like even the coyote who ran them in, she was like, yeah, they've got their hierarchy, like they're set. You know, they know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, that's definitely understandable. But I guess from like
it also
outside looking in,
they did the temperature checks and stuff like that outside the wall on the little in the border area.
Yeah.
So that they had that told me that obviously they had occasionally one or two people
or get infected or something. Yeah, that makes sense.
Whoops, my battery's running low. I gotta go get a plug for my thing.
I'm pretty sure as they expand upon the universe, we'll probably come across one or two stories where zombies have left Vegas and they're elsewhere, and they probably just like, oh, keep it like hush about it. Because I mean, I think about it in the terms of the real world. Like, if we have like this kind of like zombie dome, and then a zombie got out, I'm pretty sure whoever let the zombie out, or they would just contain it and they wouldn't talk about it. They wouldn't want it in the news.
They wouldn't want mass hysteria and
Colorado wouldn't want you to know that a zombie killed off a town or something.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, in Army of the Dead, like Bethany was starting to say, the zombies, they didn't want to leave Vegas.
Yeah.
They wanted to. When you saw how easily the coyote could bring people in, I mean, and the way the zombies could move and jump and everything they did, if they wanted out, they would have gotten out. So, yeah, they were just content there.
Yeah, Zeus was like slowly evolving and like building his own society there.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, as the president of the United States, I don't want you building your own zombie society. No. Like, come year 2, if I'm just like, oh, he doesn't want out, yes, we need to blow him up.
He's plotting.
I think I would have bit the bullet on that. I probably would have just showed up on like YouTube Live next and like, I understand everybody's angry, but you weren't seeing what I was seeing. There were zombie babies being created.
Exactly. Like, let's be real. That tiger could have gotten out at any time, though.
The tiger would have been the end of it for me. I'm like, there's a zombie tiger. We need to bomb them.
Yeah, the tiger was pretty crazy.
Zombie tiger, zombie horse. It's too much.
Did you? Something else that I saw when I was looking at the relationship to Army of the Dead and Army of Thieves was when Sebastian is watching the news and he sees the old lady standing in front of the casino. The person on the YouTube video pointed out that behind her is a bride. And so it was like the forecast of the bride in the Army of the Dead. And I thought that was pretty cool. Little things like that, those little bitty details. I miss that stuff. So I have to watch really close whenever I'm.
Oh, yeah. YouTube is definitely a great place to get a breakdown of tons of things. So.
I'm just amazed at people that can see those little things. And I'm watching for the entertainment and the laughter and the.
You got to take into consideration, like, when it comes to YouTube, they're doing it for the views and for the money. So that's their that's their job now. So they're not watching for entertainment anymore. Sometimes some of those channels.
I'm just trying to watch it before my 5-year-old wakes up. That's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Imagine going through the movie frame by frame, looking for all the little Easter eggs and stuff.
Just the little things. Like I remember, what was it? Because Halloween, so we just recently rewatched Freddy versus Jason, and there's a scene when they're talking about the news, and the news channel, its acronym spells out Kruger. And then, so people go frame by frame and things like that. I was one of those people when it came to Freddy. That's funny. So
and it's like in Army of the Dead, the UFOs at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't read about that online, I would never have seen it.
Oh yeah, definitely. If I didn't hear about it so much, like I had to go back. I was like, I didn't see the UFO. Where is it?
What was it?
A UFO in the beginning of the movie.
Oh. So this can go with your whole alien theory then.
Yes, that's where the alien theory was birthed. Well, that and the fact that the zombie came from Area 51.
Yeah.
It's Area.
I'll have to watch the beginning again. I didn't see the alien ship.
But I will admit, if this all wraps up and there's no alien, I'm gonna be like, what?
I'd be disappointed too.
There's gonna be a whole nother discussion on how disappointed Sylvester is.
There was aliens.
So in the first movie, the Dieter guy wasn't like, the main character. I thought that he was, and no one will know who it is at first probably, but I thought it was this guy, Alan Tudyk, I think is his name. He's the blonde-haired guy from Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and like,
you thought that's who it was?
Oh,
yeah. Well, because like he was in Transformers, and he had like this one line where he's like, "I don't like to be evil or mean," and like he takes his shotgun and sticks it up to this Russian lady's head, and he's like, "I'm not like this anymore," and he has like the super thick accent that you can cut through. And then I noticed it wasn't him, but obviously Dieter did frickin' great, so it was okay.
Yeah. He's an amazing actor. He was in Firefly too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was the pilot.
Yeah, he's amazing. But now
I feel like in
dying in Surrender.
In Army of Dead, when they do that pan around of everyone with their weapons, like that Avenger pan right there. Like that explains their characters so much, and everyone's got all these massive weapons, and then you got Dieter with his little pistol. Like that describes him so well.
The first go around, he had like a bat, didn't he? Like when
something like that.
Yeah.
It was definitely something someone handed to him.
Yeah,
and he didn't pick up.
I love in Army of the Dead when they're just like explaining things and like everyone knows how to kill a zombie, and he's like, hey. Yeah, how about we go over that?
Exactly.
So,
I love his attitude.
Yeah, I felt like Dieter kind of represented the audience. So because you had all these like war ran people who've dealt with zombies, and then Dieter's just like, well,
was he the only one that hadn't dealt with zombies before?
Yeah, they were all part of that team beforehand at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, and then the guy, the other person, he was a YouTuber who went over the wall all the time. So he was zombies. So I think Dieter was like the only one.
Which is probably another reason that people held off on bombing Vegas so long, because they knew they had people going in and out.
And the you're right. The YouTuber's friend, she didn't deal with zombies either.
Yeah, I thought there was one other one that hadn't. She acted bad, but when it came down to it, she was like,
It wasn't badass though when it came down to it. Like, so
it was a fun movie.
Yeah,
I can't think of another movie series that, I mean, both were heist movies, but I can't think of another movie series that switched genre the way that they did with Army of Thieves.
They definitely did it really well.
I remember watching the trailer for Army of Thieves when we were all kind of brought together for this. So I watched the trailer and I was like, where's the zombies? Like, I was so confused for a second. But then I watched the movie. I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like, I get it.
I mean, yeah, I was bummed because, you know, zombie everything, but I do watch other movies. So it wasn't, so like it being a heist movie, I was like, I'm okay with this because I like the Italian Job. I like things like that. So it's all good for me. And like I said, I was pleasantly surprised that they made safe cracking that interesting because like in any heist movie, there is a safe cracker, but it's not important. Like it's just like, you know, he's gonna get in, but then they have him playing his music and you're seeing the safe and I'm just like, okay. Yeah.
I loved his warm-up routine.
I'm warming up my instrument.
Yeah, I gotta warm up my instruments.
Yeah.
And it's just satisfying because like you see all these different elements to the heist, and then once it gets to his world, everything stops because it's kind of like, you know, it can't be done. Everything was important, but this is the most important. So I like how everyone has to give him what he wants for him to get it done.
Yeah, because he was the most important.
Yeah, it really
I mean,
was.
everything they wanted to do depended
him and the
on
helicopter
him.
pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That breakdown was so I love that. And she was like, I think we should be incentivized.
Yeah.
But Sebastian or Dieter, whichever one you're going by, he has the greatest lines in both movies. Like, I love when he says gulp instead of, you know, gulping. Or
Just gulping,
he's like, am I being spunked? Whenever they were in the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Or when he screams like a girl, you know, the scream is just perfect. And he has so many great lines. And I feel like he's the only actor that could pull off the lines the way he did them. Just
when he shot the zombie, because I did that, and I think the guy says you did that 4 times. You shot it 10 times.
Right. I like the name change. How you saw how he told his little story about the superhero he wanted to be or the amazing safecracker he wanted to be, and then he got his name changed. That it definitely was.
He was a writer.
Yeah. So it definitely was a beautiful, just watching him grow as a character. That movie was definitely a nice little love note to his character, and I liked it. So.
Did y'all catch the Snyder's Easter egg to 2004 Dawn of the Dead in his dream, his nightmare? The little girl in the hallway. The little girl in the hallway.
Oh, yeah.
Dressed almost the same. She did the same motion, you know, snapped up and came down. Then I watched Army of the Dead after that, and there's a nod to Walking Dead in there. The bunny girl. Remember Bunny Girl from the
the first episode?
The little girl that picks up the bunny and she's a zombie. I don't know if she was in the zombie yet. I don't think, but I like those.
I don't know if anyone watches, but Joe Bob Briggs, he did the drive-in for the first 2 episodes of The Walking Dead, and I shared like the bunny girl. She took a picture of the first episode because it was like when she was a little girl, and then she took a picture, and she's no longer a little girl. Made me feel
right.
She's all grown up.
Yeah, she's all grown up. Made me feel old.
It's like Beth, was that Carol's daughter? Was Beth, right?
Yeah.
No.
Beth was the sister.
Yeah, Beth was
the little girl.
Sophia.
Carol's daughter.
Sophia, thank you.
Sophia.
She's Bosch's daughter in the series Bosch series, which is pretty cool. She's like a legal assistant and pretty smart.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they grow up, don't they?
Yeah, I saw this little meme that had Sophia, and it was like hide and seek champion of like 2006 or something like that. It was perfect.
I couldn't find her till the barn scene.
Yeah.
It saved a lot of issues if they just. Yep, she's in the barn.
If they just checked inside the barn, that season would have been kind of done a little faster.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole scene just kind of solidified like Shane being right, and it was just kind of yeah.
Zombies, they bring us all together.
Yeah.
What does that say about us?
Right?
You have great taste.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it says.
All I know, there's about 20 years of my life where there was hardly any zombie content. I'm grateful there's a lot of zombie content now.
It's everywhere.
Which sucks though, is because I'm a writer. I write in the genre right now, and I try not to read as much in the genre because I don't want to somehow, take or whatever. So
Yeah.
That's what's tough is like Shawn, like I read a lot of your books, and Mike and Sylvester, like everyone, I read all your books and stuff. And then to write my own books, I'm like, wait, I have to reevaluate. Like, did I get influenced by someone, or is that me? Type thing. So yeah, I gotta just stop reading. But I gotta find something else.
Getting influenced is fine as long as we're not like regurgitating.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, there's that line right there.
Yeah. Like in the beginning of my book, there's the farmhouse, and it's definitely just like influenced by Night of the Living Dead. So it's that whole premise. But then I move on from that. So as long as you make it your own, I think it's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think a huge part of it too is just developing characters and keeping the situations that they run into interesting and well done.
Yeah,
and then the characters just take it. They do their own story.
Yeah. When I did the Orphans, I didn't even know there were zombie books. I'd never read one. I was like, I thought I had the best fucking idea in the world, and then I Googled it after I finished, and like found Zombie Book of the Month Club, and I said, shit, there's like at least 30 or 40 zombie authors. And then I started looking further, and I'm like, oh god. So I was like,
there's tons of zombie books. Like just when you think like it's all been done, like there's zombie romances and things, and I was just like, okay, it's not where I'm going, but they're out there.
I'm sure they'll do well with the niche.
Yeah, everyone's got a niche.
So
it is what it is.
The ones I found, they're making money. So
yeah,
maybe might
their own.
Maybe.
So I did a little searching, and it looks like, what did you call it? Rebel Moon?
Yeah.
It looks like Rebel Moon is going to come out next, before Planet of the Dead.
See, that makes me think that the animated prequel is probably going to be more than one season.
I could see that.
What's Rebel Moon's premise supposed to be?
My understanding is that it was actually a Star Wars movie that he pitched to Lucasfilm before the Disney takeover. And they decided not to run with it. And so he's now stripped all the Star Wars elements and made it into its own thing.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see. What did this say? This says it is, hold please. Where did it go? Compares new movie Rebel Moon to Man of Steel.
Yeah, like the opening scene of Man of Steel.
Yeah.
But an entire movie of that.
Right. Something to that effect.
Sign me up.
And it's gonna star Sophia Boutella. She was in, oh my gosh, The Mummy. She was Aksat. Oh my gosh, yes. She was her in that movie, and then she was in the Mummy movie with Tom Cruise also.
She was in that one?
Isn't she the one that was in that movie?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't remember that movie.
I think so. Let's see.
I didn't research that movie. I researched Army of Thieves. No.
I didn't know we were gonna get quizzed
Yeah,
on Mummy.
she was in both those. She was in not crap. I can't say her name. Anyway, she was in the original Mummy, and then she was in the Tom Cruise version of the Mummy.
I
But
haven't
she's the
even watched
one.
Tom Cruise version.
Anaxamun.
I just know that killed a whole franchise idea that they had.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'll just go back to. She's the one that's going to be in Rebel Moon for Zach Snyder.
And that's the anime of the Planet of the Dead series?
No, that's
No,
just
this is
a movie he's making.
Oh,
yeah. This
far
is
as
just
we
one that's
know,
coming out
totally
before
separate.
Planet of the Dead, I think.
Oh, okay. I
So
want to
the
know
next-
more about Vanderho. Vander.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, like I want to learn more about him.
Thank you, babe.
He would be the next character I want to learn about.
Which one's that?
He was the guy. He didn't have too much of a backstory
Chainsaw
though.
guy. The one,
Yeah, the
the
chainsaw
one
guy.
that survived
Yeah.
at the end.
Oh yeah,
He
he's
died at the very end with a bite in his rib cage.
Yeah.
That
and plus the actor that plays him, he's amazing. He's from Power and stuff. So
Power was
definitely see
really,
him.
really good.
Yeah, I could definitely see him holding his own movie and stuff. So
Yeah.
I just want to learn more about the universe, like, because we don't, aside from The Walking Dead, there weren't many there wasn't a connected like zombie universe that you could dive into and have these different aspects to. So I'm definitely interested in this growing more, especially since I fell off of Fear the Walking Dead. So that's a whole universe I have to start from the beginning.
I'm gonna have to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I think I watched like the first 4 or 5 episodes and then just stopped.
Well, I was watching it and I liked it. But then I was like, well, I have to go catch up on Walking Dead now. I don't want to fall behind on that. And then
yeah,
it was too much going on at once.
And then you got the World Beyond, which is like a whole nother realm of them. I'm like, I don't got time for this. Like, I got bills to pay.
The World Beyond is amazing for anyone that enjoys like YA fiction, I believe.
Yeah.
I think they do a really good job of the environments, the different dead. That's what I really like about it.
Yeah.
Seeing how it ages.
What is that one on? I've never heard of it.
It's like the other. It's like how many years in the future of The Walking Dead? But it's like
Isn't it like
the next
15 or 20
generation.
years in the future?
The kids have all grown up in it, and they're older now.
Yeah, and so they kind of got a handle on the zombie world, and then these kids kind of break out of their compound and they go on their own for a little
They're
bit.
sheltered. They're pretty green. They don't know.
Yeah, like they
I
go to
don't
school
think
and
it's-
everything, and then
I
they're
don't
like,
think
"What's
it's
these
supposed
zombies?"
to be in the future, is it? I thought it's the same time period as The Walking Dead.
Well,
But
which time period of Walking Dead though?
I think it
'Cause,
shows on Sundays, but you know how they kind of like stagger everything, so it'll be like Fear the Walking Dead, and then it'll be World Beyond, and then it'll be Walking Dead.
I
So
stream,
it's on
so I don't
AMC
know.
then.
Yeah, it's on AMC. Yeah,
Okay.
it's only gonna be 2 seasons, so they're on the 2nd season now. But yeah, I thought it was supposed to be like, because the main antagonist is the helicopter group that takes Rick, so I thought it was.
I think it's about the same time as the Rick departing part.
Okay.
Yeah, so I thought it was the same time period, but I don't know. I only got like 3 episodes deep in there, so I support The World Beyond, but I haven't fully watched it. So
Sure.
Anybody try to watch Day of the Dead on FX or Sci-Fi or whatever it is?
I'm watching it.
I couldn't do it.
But I didn't get deep into it because like I'm hurt that it's just Day of the Dead in name only. It felt like they lost Z Nation and they just decided they wanted to make another one. So, that's what it feels like to me.
The lawnmower escape scene is what lost me right there. He stays on the lawnmower to escape the dead, and that's like the riding lawnmower. That thing is dumb.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I was looking forward to seeing that one too. That's kind of a bummer to hear. That's
I mean, you might like it if you like slapstick and stuff like that, but it's kind of slapsticky in my opinion.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll check it out. But
yeah, I'm still intrigued to see where it goes because like I know like the dad is named Bub, and there's aspects to it that are intriguing to me, like the zombie that was in the pit. Like I want to know more about that. But then like there are some things that I don't care about, like the gun wielding mayor. Don't care about her. This kind of like will they won't they love thing with the funeral home. Don't care about that. So but there are some things that I'll tune back in to see. But there's so much out there, so much content going on with everything that is just I can't find.
I thought Black Summer season 2 was phenomenal.
Oh, Black Summer.
Really
grabbed you by the throat that first episode, man.
See,
Black
I
Summer
like
was
the
the
first season.
I like
spin-off of Z Nation too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it's super realistic. It's great production value, and it's gritty and it's ruthless. Some of the people are ruthless, and I think that's how it would be. That's how I write it in my books. Humans are animals, and you know what? It's dog eat dog for most part.
The thing with Black Summer is like before it came out, because I was like pumping it up when it was coming out, and I was told that it was going to be a Z Nation prequel, and it's going to be based on the Black Summer of Z Nation. And like Jamie King, she liked all my stuff, and she's like, yeah. And then when Z Nation got canceled, that's when they tried to separate themselves. Even though they had everyone from Z Nation working on it, they're just like, it's not a prequel. I think they just shared the name, and I was just like, okay.
Well, for someone who didn't know that though, like I didn't know it was associated with it.
Yeah.
But like I love the first season. I couldn't get into the second season. I don't know if it was just slow at first and I just kind of ran out of time, but like I'll give it another shot, but I couldn't get into it as much.
I like the second season. I definitely think they gave us like too many characters that I don't really care about, and they did a lot of my favorite characters dirty. So I have some issues with it, but the whole season 1, season 2, I still love it. Like
they left them off with a lot of questions unanswered.
Yeah.
So.
But if we're going like what my favorite zombie series is, it probably has to be Kingdom. Like Kingdoms. Like
oh gosh, yeah.
Kingdom is awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Those are the only ones that I gotta watch with the lights on because they will freak me out. I can't.
We should do a panel on Kingdom next.
Yes.
Definitely, because
the
progression of the fear of Kingdom is just like, when you find out it's not the daylight, it's the heat. I was like, what?
Yeah,
I was like, so they're just fucked now. Okay.
Yeah, that and Train to Busan, like those worlds, perfect.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah, that was a damn good
I still feel that Peninsula is a solid movie. It just had the bad luck of being connected to Train to Busan.
Yeah. I think people expected it as a sequel. We're disappointed, but if you just had it standalone, it was fine.
Kind of struck me as Ready Player One with zombies, but I really enjoyed it.
I actually haven't seen Peninsula yet.
Oh, you haven't seen Peninsula yet?
No.
Yeah, just go in with no like hope that it's gonna be better than Train to Busan.
Yeah.
Like people were like, it's Fast and the Furious meets zombies, and I'm fine with that. That's fine.
You're right.
I like that.
That's a better description than Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see a death race with zombies.
Zombies.
You remember Death Race 2000 with Carradine and Stallone and
no.
my dad took me to see that when I was young, and I shouldn't have taken to see that.
The influence years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's another question for you. Do you like slow zombies or fast zombies?
I like fast.
We're not starting that argument.
Slow and
It's not an argument, it's just a question.
I'll take slow in real life and fast in my books.
Exactly.
Yeah, most definitely. Like,
Yeah.
In real life, give me the slow ones, but in my fiction, I want them fast. I don't really care. Like in my books, it's just they start out fast, and then once they tear some muscles or break some legs, they're slow. But Like, yeah, if they're coming after me in real life, I want them slow. I want to move in Romero style. So
yeah,
handicapped would be fine.
Okay, and so here's another question because we were talking about it. So in the movie, Sebastian is in London. He's happy-go-lucky, but he's seeing all the zombie stuff in the news. Honestly speaking, if a zombie apocalypse happened and the zombies are coming, how long do you think it would take before people started actually killing them when they were walking toward them? Or running if you prefer the fast zombies, whatever.
First one I see.
Yeah. Are you talking about us personally or?
Yeah, us.
I'd be like the first one dead, man. I'd be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I like try to help them, and I get bit, and I'm gone. Like I would not survive a zombie apocalypse at all.
Man, self-defense.
Like, I love your
they're
zombie costume.
Zombies or whatever attacking, then I'm going to defend myself.
Yep.
Me and my wife, we have a running joke that we don't watch the news enough, so
wouldn't know.
We probably wouldn't find out. Like, yeah, like we just don't watch the news enough. Like our parents will be like, "Yeah, so and so's out." I'm like, "What?
It's like the start of the 2004 Dawn of the Dead. She had every chance to learn what was going on, but she just missed it by a brief.
That would be me.
Off.
I'd probably be walking to my car. I'm like, why is he acting like that? That's very zombie.
Halloween.
What's going on?
Yeah.
You know, I think that with all of us loving zombies so much and writing zombies and being so immersed in the zombie universe, that if it actually happened, I'd like to think that we'd recognize it at least faster than, people that weren't obsessed with zombies would.
Yeah, not me. I would.
I'm actually working on a short story where it's like a writer's retreat for zombie authors, and then the zombie apocalypse breaks out. And there's I want to do it like kind of like reality, reality TV, so they have like DR sessions, and they're just like, I can't believe this happened.
That's actually awesome. I like that.
That's a great idea.
But I also want all of us to get together for a retreat too. So
I think normalcy bias would be a big factor. It would take out a lot of people. I mean, you watch the footage of the tsunami back in, was it 2010 or the people are on the Thailand beach and the water recedes and they just don't believe their eyes. They're just staring at it. And then a minute later, they're all gone. The water. So, I mean, I don't think I'd at first believe if I saw a bunch of zombies coming at me, but then it would kick in, I'd be like, it's not Halloween and I'm not getting spunked.
Yeah. Fear Walking Dead. Very good job with that.
Yeah, and you mentioned the normalcy bias in your books too. And I love how you write that because it just seems so realistic. It's sorry, getting off track a little bit there, but that's just
Thank you. I have to justify the world going to shit so fast too. That's part of it.
I like it where you build up the zombies, and I like it where the shit just hits the fan from the first 10, 20 pages of a book. I like that first book was fun to write, but I didn't flesh out the apocalypse like I wanted to. So luckily I went back and wrote Drawl, which is a prequel to one of the characters, and that one I loved it because I had a little bit more writing ability, because I started out green. I'm still kind of green, but that was fun to write, to revisit that first book, but through another character's eyes.
Yeah, Duncan.
Duncan Winters.
That was well done. I'm a big fan. I've read all of your books multiple times. Yeah. But go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, I think Fear the Walking Dead did a very good job at the beginning of the apocalypse where like the son of the guy, I forgot the names now, but
Nick.
The son of the guy, he was like there with his with his friends, and he was like, I'm standing up for them. There's bad things happening, and he's trying to go to all the protests and stuff helping out. And they don't realize that it's zombies walking around. Like they integrated it so well that it was, I just like how they did it. But that's how I am. I love watching the beginning of the apocalypse. So like any of the books that I read, any of that stuff, I like the first few hours. So I'm like, what happened? Like, when was the point where it dawned on them what was actually happening and they had to accept that reality versus just kind of brushing it off and thinking you still have to go to work the next day type thing.
Right.
Yeah, I just feel like society is just so complex with so many different groups of people that there are going to be a ton of people that are going to die, and then there's going to be people who live different lives or come from different aspects that so they would look at a situation and then will automatically know versus some people where they won't. So it's weird.
Yeah,
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Human nature is strange.
I think things are like normal, and I'm just like me and my wife were in our own little bubbles, so we talk about horror and like true crime and serial killers all the time. And then I'll be in a different writing group, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, and John Wayne Gacy," and they're like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "What?" We're like different worlds. So,
what do y'all think about having your characters know about zombies versus have them not aware about zombies? Because I started out surviving the zombie apocalypse where they're not aware of zombies. But the new book, Riker's Apocalypse, Tara immediately keys in that this is a fucking zombie. And and they reference zombie literature and zombie shows because I wrote that in 2016. So I was able to incorporate some of that stuff. So
I think depending on the year that it takes place has a lot to do with it. If I'm writing something now that takes place from now, zombies are so embedded in culture.
Agreed.
Yeah. I think most of my books, they've known what zombies were.
Yeah.
Maybe Zombies and Chainsaws they didn't, because it was a drunk waitress was his first zombie he saw, and he didn't know. He thought she was at the hotel room for a different reason, I think. But
with a chainsaw.
Special order.
Yeah, I compare my series to like Z Nation more than The Walking Dead, and they know what zombies are. So like once someone sees it, they're like, it's a fucking zombie. Yeah. Headshots. Yeah.
It's like with
know what zombies are. At the end, I think the last sentence in the first chapter is says something about it being the zombie apocalypse. I can't use the exact wording because it's not PG, but my character recognized them for what they were right away. And then when it's the characters are seeing things on the news and that too, the whole world basically recognizes them for what they are, except the initial victims, obviously, that are, right there and get bit. But yeah, I like having it. I think it's fun both ways, but I liked writing it where they're familiar with zombies. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think it's so like crazy to like in zombie fiction because that people who get infected or people who get bitten, they're going to go to the hospitals. And it's just so sad to know that all these people in the hospital can die so fast and so quickly just because of where they are.
Yeah.
And it's just
points of infection.
Yeah. It's just so.
I think one set in the 40s or like the 1920s or cowboy times would be pretty damn fun.
Oh, yeah.
Do a cowboy.
Especially if it was like
a zombie
Wild West.
Yeah.
Like a heavily populated area, so it doesn't even have to be slow.
San Francisco and the Gold Rush, or
yeah, exactly.
I have plans to do it's on my board and everything. I have plans to do a zombie pirates and whatnot. So that'd
be cool.
That's what I'm gonna do next. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. But I've always wanted to do a zombie western. I've done like one or two zombie western short stories, and they're just fun. Just cowboys are always fun.
I can just see the poor fella lady trying to jam the powder in the flintlock. Here they come, and it's like no 30-round magazines for you.
Yeah, I mean, think about like using pickaxes to kill zombies.
Oh yeah,
when they're in gold mines, maybe.
Ooh.
Moving through dark tunnels too, being a zombie.
Trying to wire the dynamite in time before they come out.
And it just gives you different ways to think of why it would happen, because like modern day it's always some virus or something that was created, but like going back to the West and going back to pirates and stuff, you just like I'm gonna be doing like magic and voodoo and things. That's what I want to bring back, those zombies. So that's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah.
I like the idea of that gold rush zombie.
Yeah, unearth something.
Unearth something, yeah. Go looking for gold and get like golden eye zombies and stuff. That'd be great.
That would be creepy. Anytime there's anything in the darkness and the eyes are peering at me, I'm like, nope, I can't.
Nope.
I had like a scary red-eyed demon when I was a kid that I was afraid of. I could have swore it was real, and my dad gave me Visine to keep on my bed because I was afraid of this thing. So yeah, creepy eyes in the dark, I can't do it.
I was just thinking if they're like the slow ones that walk weird with the head lantern on, like a zombie, going through the tunnel, like kind of twitching.
Yeah.
And it's coming at you.
The twitching zombies. That's where it's at for me. Like,
when you hear the clicking of the joints.
Twitching.
Or their teeth.
That's the fear factor.
Teeth are good.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Teeth are good.
But, Western zombies, a whole like brothel full of zombies. That'd be a saloon full of zombies. I'd love to see it. Definitely.
There's a lot of capabilities there, or possibilities.
I saw something that had a saloon full of vampires. It was some movie I watched. So that just made me remember that, huh?
Yeah, that's
Tarantino one.
That sounds Tarantino-ish.
Maybe.
Him and Clooney.
No. That was Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
No, this was like a Western.
Yeah,
this was like a straight up Western zombie one. Like it was old timey Western.
Western vampire.
Yeah. I don't know. It was one of those late nights that I was like, this looks interesting, and then you fall asleep halfway through and you have weird dreams. That's what it was.
Stephen Landry's phone is dying. He lost his microphone and camera, so he wanted us to let everyone know. So I'm ready to have him, lose him from the show a little early, but it was fun having him.
Oh yeah.
Well, y'all, we could talk about zombies all night.
Oh yeah.
But I think this is probably a good place to stop.
Oh.
So I just wanted to say thank you on behalf of Jaime and myself and watching Wyrd Realities, Inc. Thank you for being here to Mike, Steven, Sylvester, Shawn, and Bethany. We know how busy you are, and we do appreciate your willingness to discuss Army of Thieves with us, along with all of the fun Easter eggs and rabbit holes we walked through and talked about. It was so much fun. And we will definitely have you back if you would like to come back and join us, because it was such a good time.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Before we go, if you want to have everyone let us know what they're working on now or what they have coming out.
Yes, please. Go ahead, Mike.
I am currently working on Vacation from Hell 3 for Nano Month, which I write a book a month anyway. It doesn't matter, but because it's the month. I've got Orphans 10 is going to be out probably late this month or early in December. So pretty excited about that one. And then I've got more books to write after all that. So.
Yeah, you need to write that zombie Western now.
I know. I wrote it down.
All going to write one.
Yeah, onslaught of gold mining zombies.
Yeah. Bethany?
So my writing took a hiatus while I was working because I was 24/7 at this job. But as of Friday, I will be done with it, and I'm going to get back on the Gabby Jones series, get that going on Kindle, and then I still got to finish Highway 2. So,
okay, Sylvester.
I'm also doing Nano. So right now I'm working on a religious apocalypse book. I don't really have a title for it, but it's like Dogma meets The Handmaid's Tale. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I put out 3 books this year. I think I had a short story collection called Stitches. I also have a prequel to Planet Dead called Planet Dead Briggs Boys Mixtape. And I dived into Vela this year, and I did a vampire apocalypse military fiction. So that was fun. That's called Generation Slayer. So that's all I've been doing this year. A lot of writing.
Y'all are busy. Shawn?
Well, I'm about 100,000 words into Riker's Apocalypse, The Plea, Book 4. That'll go to first round edits pretty soon. And then I've got 2 I'm going to start right afterward. Book 16 in my Surviving the Zombie Apocalypse series. I don't have a title. And then I'm going to try to write 2 books at once, which I've never done, and I don't know if I'm going to succeed. But I'm going to write a thriller series called The Hitter. Scorched Earth is book 1.
Nice. Okay. Stephen, as you know, Stephen had some issues with his battery, so he wanted to let you know that he's got a new book, sci-fi survivor horror called Myra's Song, coming out November 23rd, and then a post-apocalyptic novel, Dungeon Valkyrie, coming next year.
Very cool.
Jaime, do you have anything coming out soon?
I'm working on the 3rd book of my Chronicles of the Undead series. I'm getting close to finishing and then starting, beta readers and editing and everything. I'm also working on 2 anthologies, both of which I don't think most of our writers on here actually are part of one of them, but both of them aren't public news yet. So once they are, I'll announce, all the information about them.
Awesome.
But, so yeah, working on those now.
Okay, well, this podcast tonight was brought to you by Wyrd Realities podcast in partnership with Horror Writers Inc. All of the writers that helped us on this panel tonight are members of Horror Writers Inc., and you can get all of their information there. And they each have, I know they're each on Amazon, and I know most have their own website. Is there any specific place that you want to tell writers that are readers that they can find you? Jump in.
MikeEvansAuthor.com
Awesome.
or Amazon.
Okay.
ShawnChesser.com.
SylvesterBarazey.com. You can find me all over social media at Sylvester Barazey.
Awesome.
I'm just on Horror Writers Inc. I don't have my website.
Yeah, it sounds like I need a website too. I'm in Horror Writers Inc. and I have the Jaime Hernandez fan club on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Look
And
at
of course, all of
Squarespace.
us on Amazon.
Easy.
I'm sorry?
Look at Squarespace. I think that's who I.
Oh, Squarespace is amazing. I love it.
Okay.
For like $20 a month, I think I spend, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's nice. I don't know if it does any good, but I have a website and a tax write-off. So
Well,
either
there
way,
you
it's a
go.
win.
If there's any listeners watching, all my books are on Audible and iBooks or Apple iTunes, whatever it's called, as well.
Awesome. Thank you again so much for being here with us tonight. All of us at Wyrd Realities, thank you so much for joining us. And remember to like and subscribe on YouTube and Facebook, and visit us on Horror Writers Inc. and at Wyrd Realities podcast. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thanks, Finley.
Night.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Stay
again.
weird.
Great chatting with y'all.
Yeah, you too.
I don't even know how to turn this off.
I'm trying to find it too.
Oh, did we just leave? Okay.
Yeah, I
Well,
didn't know if anybody was talking or leaving.
Yeah, all right. Have a great night.
You too.